It's the 21st of February 2023. Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime News on TV1, bringing you the news from the news desk. I am Sandru Satyajit. First, your headlines. Opposition protests in Parliament demanding local government poll. SLPP General Secretary also joins protest as sessions are adjourned to Wednesday. Government printers says police protection yet to be provided for ballot paper printing process. Economic Commission to replace Board of Investment and the Board of Exports. Final decision on Kimbulawala street food zone today.
Sri Lanka's election headquarters.
The talk of the town is the election. Will it happen? Will it not? Nevertheless, News First brings you the latest. Now, Speaker Mahindaya Abeyewardena adjourned Tuesday's Parliament sessions to 9:30 a.m. on Wednesday following a protest by opposition MPs who were demanding steps to be taken to conduct the local government election. Now, notably, the SLPP General Secretary Attorney Sagara Karyawasam also joined the protest by the opposition. As per the ICCPR, if we do not hold elections, we will lose the GSP Plus concessions. Japanese companies are leaving the country. Germany is also leaving the country. Is it right for the Treasury Secretary or even the President to be authoritative like this? If the President assumes that Parliament is creating trouble, he would be able to say that there is insufficient funds and would disrupt the proceedings of the House. Parliament is adjourned to 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. In other news now, Reverend Father Cyril Gamini Fernando, the spokesperson for the Archdiocese of Colombo, speaking to reporters, presented a letter from His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit that included matters related to the local government election.
රට මුහුණ දීලා තියෙන දරුණු ආර්ථික අර්බුදයෙන් ගොඩේම සඳහා ජාත්‍යන්තර මුල්‍ය අරමුදල එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානය ඇතුළු ජාත්‍යන්තර ආයතන සහ විදේශ රටවල සහාය අත්‍යවශ්‍යම මොහොතක බලය රැක ගැනීමේ පටු
It is of paramount importance to secure the support of the IMF, United Nations, international agencies and other countries to recover from this economic crisis. We appeal from the political authority and the respective state officials not to engage in any arbitrary, anti-people and anti-democratic act that would tarnish the image of the country and take away the opportunity of accessing international support for their sole selfish intention of retaining power. Therefore, it is the responsibility of all political parties, civil organizations, religious leadership and all citizens to come forward to protect the people's franchise and fundamental rights of exercising the mandate, the democracy of the country and the international support that is required for the economy to recover. We request the President, Government and relevant government officials to ensure that the local government election is held on time without any obstructions and that the necessary facilities be provided. If public dismay over the government is the reason for delaying the elections, we believe the rulers of this country would be humble enough to face the election and change based on the results, and would also have the mindset to prevent themselves from going down in history as a group of cowards who fear defeat.
අවශ්‍ය සියලු පහසුකම් සපයා දීමට කටයුතු කරන ලෙස ජනාධිපතිවරයා රජය සහ අදාළ රාජ්‍ය ආයතනයන්හි බලධාරීන්ගෙන් අපි අවධාරණයෙන් යුතුව ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා. ඡන්දය කල් දැමීමට
The government printer, meanwhile, says that sufficient police protection has not been provided for the process of printing ballot papers. Now, head of the Department of Government Printing, Lanka, told Newsfirst that as a result, the printing of ballot papers for the local government election will be further delayed.
The government printer said that only 2 police officers have been stationed at the main gate as of Monday, the 20th evening. She said that 65% strong police force is required for the security detail to provide protection to the process of printing ballot papers. She said that requests were forwarded in this regard to all relevant agencies. The National Elections Commission is scheduled to meet on the 24th of February. The chairman of the National Elections Commission, attorney Nima Punchiheva, speaks to Newsfirst and said that the court ruling that will be delivered on the 23rd of February will be discussed at the meeting. He said that as per the court ruling, the necessary future action will be taken.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that an economic commission will be formed as early as possible, replacing the Board of Investment and the Board of Exports. Now, President Ranil Wickremesinghe made these remarks at the opening of the country's first migratory bird park and ecotourism zone in Hanthane, Kandy.
Adjacent to the Hanthane Tea Museum premises, this 27-acre exotic bird park and ecotourism zone is home to over 100 species of migratory birds. Established at a cost of 490 million rupees, exotic birds are housed in large cages and the animals are cared for by a group of nearly 100 workers. Central Province Governor Lalit Gamage, among others, were present for the opening.
අලුත් ආර්ථිකයක් හදනවා නම් හදන අවස්ථාවේදී අපේ අවධානය යොමු වෙන්නේ විශේෂයෙන්ම අපනයන ආර්ථිකයක් දිහා.
For Sri Lanka to embark on a new economic path, we must focus on an export-oriented economy. When that is created, we need more foreign revenue. We need to boost the tourism, IT, production and agriculture sectors. More chances for domestic and international investment should be provided for that. We should be able to approve projects within months. Instead of the Board of Investment and the Board of Exports, we should appoint an economic commission and come to a system of giving approval for investments through one agency. Minister Dilum Amunugama has been assigned to arrange that.
මණ්ඩලය වෙනුවට එක ආර්ථික කොමිසමක් ඇති කරන්න. ඒ කොමිසම තුලින් එක ස්ථානයක ඉඳන් අනුමැතිය ලැබලා දෙන්න. ඒ වැඩ කටයුතු සඳහා ඔබේම දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ඉන්න මේ දිලුම් අමුණුගම ඇමතිතුමාට බාර දීලා තියෙනවා.
Meanwhile, the cabinet has decided that the relevant line ministries would be responsible for the operations and continuation of 261 large-scale projects that have been stalled.
මේ ව්‍යාපෘති 261 පිළිබඳවම පුළුල් සවිස්තරාත්මක වාර්තාවක් ඉදිරිපත් කරා. ඒ අනුව එම ව්‍යාපෘතිවල තිරසර පැවැත්ම පිළිබඳ අවධානය.
A comprehensive report was presented about the 261 projects in question. The sustainability of these projects are at risk, and for the operations and continuation of these projects, the relevant line ministries will be given the responsibilities over them. Approval was given to operate within the necessary framework. Accordingly, the ministries are responsible to identify the priority projects and what projects can continue with the National Operations Centre and plan the future programs.
පිළිබඳ අනාගත කටයුතු සැලසුම් කරන්නට කියන එක පිළිබඳ ඉදිරිපත් කරපු යෝජනාවට කැබිනට් අනුමැතිය ලැබුණා.
SJB parliamentarian Dr. Harshad De Silva said that it would take another 5 years to solve the economic crisis. He was speaking to a group of youth professionals and businessmen in Attanagala.
ආර්ථික සංකෝචනය කළා ඉල්ලුම අඩු කරලා තමයි ස්ථාවර භාවයක් ගේන්නේ ආර්ථිකය. හැබැයි ස්ථාවර භාවය ගේන එක නෙමෙයි උත්තරේ. නැවතත් ආර්ථිකය ප්‍රසාරණය කරන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් මේක උගතෝකෝටික ප්‍රශ්නයක්. ආර්ථිකය නැවතත් ප්‍රසාරණය.
You can bring about stability to the economy by reducing the demand. However, that alone is not the answer. The economy must expand. The only option to expand the economy is that we need to merge with the global production chain. Due to comments such as selling off the country, we did not enter into any international agreement. Just because we engage in politics, we cannot say that there is no form of stability in the country. Just because I am from the SJB and simply because Ranil Wickremesinghe is from the UNP, if I go to criticize everything he does, as a country we will not be able to move forward. Some might disagree with what I have to say. We must go to the next step. We have not restructured our debt and that needs to be addressed. The car known as the economy is positioned in a certain way downslope. We need to place it back on the road and move forward. That journey is important. I believe that it would take at least another 5 years for the economy to recover.
විශ්වාස කරන්නේ අවම වශයෙන් තව අවුරුදු 5ක් ගතයි. තව අවුරුදු 5ක් ගතයි අපිට නැවතත් අපි හිතපු තැනකට ගේන්න.
Meanwhile, the Professionals Collective organized a seminar in Colombo on Monday under the theme Repeal Oppressive Tax Reforms.
ජනාධිපතිතුමාට මේ බදු ජනතාවට විශ්වසනීය විදියට පිළිගන්න.
If the president wanted the people to accept this tax policy, he should have started it from his office. He should have cut down the expenses of the president's office by at least 30% and slashed the expenses of the public service as well. Then the people would have had faith in the system. Former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa removed taxes because the billionaires wanted the super gain tax removed. That tax alone generated 56 billion rupees. They said if the 56 billion is returned, they would bring in investments 3 times greater than that amount. However, nothing happened and the country became bankrupt.
අර සුපර් ගේන් ටැක්ස් එක අයින් කරන්න කියලා. ඒ ටැක්ස් එක මගින් බිලියන 56ක් ආවා. ඒගොල්ලෝ කිව්වා ඔය බිලියන 56 අපට ආපහු දෙනවා නම් අපේ සමාගම් වලට අපි ඒකට තව 3 ගුණයක් එකතු කරලා රටට ආයෝජනය ගේනවා කියලා. හැබැයි ඒ බද්ද නැති කළා කරපු ආයෝජනයක් නම් නෑ රට බංකොලොත් වුණා.
අර්ජුන් ඇලෝසියස් මහතාටයත් මෙන්ඩිස් අරක්කු සමාගම
The Excise Department cancelled the license of the Mendis Distilleries Private Limited owned by Arjun Aloysius and filed a case for not paying 2 billion in taxes. Based on the involvement of the current president and political authorities, the case was suspended. Last week they have returned the licenses without even collecting a red cent. This is how they are treating these companies and their friends when it comes to tax.
සුරාබදු අය කරගන්නේ නැතිව. එතකොට දැවැන්ත සමාගම් සහ විශේෂයෙන් ගජමිතුරු චෞර වලල්ලට මෙහෙම තමයි බදු සම්බන්ධ සලකන්නේ.
On to a headline-making story now. Attention was drawn in Parliament towards attempts being made to remove the Kimbulavala street food vendors. Just besides the parliament in Kimbulavala, there are many small businesses trying their best to sustain in this economy by doing businesses with street food. Now there is a rumour saying that you are attempting to clean out this place and to stop this place from having these street food stalls.
ගරු කතානායකතුමනි කටකතා විශ්වාස කරන්න එපා. මහා මාර්ග ආඥාපනත අනුව පාරවල් වල දෙපස ඉරි යොදලා මගීන්ගේ හා මේ වාහනවල.
Honourable Speaker, please do not believe in rumours. According to the Highways Ordinance, there is a law that protects pedestrians and drivers. You know that even previously there were complaints taken to the Urban Development Authority as well that led to them instructing people to not obstruct the road. Therefore, I will bring a more detailed analysis regarding this soon.
නාගරික සංවර්ධන අධිකාරිය ගෙනහල් ඉවරලා එතනින් ඉවත් කරගන්න ලෙස දැනුම් දීලා තියෙනවා. ඒක නිසා මේ පිළිබඳ විස්තරාත්මක විස්තරයක් මම මේ ගරු සභාවට වෙනම පැහැදිලි කරන්න.
එතන ව්‍යාපාර කරගෙන ගියා පටන් ගත්තේ සිකුරාදා.
Businesses were conducted usually on Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, but now they do so throughout the week.
There are complaints from shops on the side of the roads and they cannot conduct their businesses. There are also complaints regarding the cleanliness of the place as well. There is a meeting at the UDA regarding this as well, and there is a methodology that has been decided in order for them to continue. However, this was done because approval was granted by Minister Prasanna. Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, America, France, England have these street food stalls. Why are they trying to stop this? Do not sabotage the attempts being made by the people to earn a living. That is a sin. We have never decided to remove this place.
Meanwhile, the protests took place in Kalutara North yesterday, demanding the increased electricity tariffs be brought down immediately.
This protest was organised by the Kalutara People's Struggle at the Kalutara North Dediyavala Junction. They pointed out that the 66% increase in the electricity tariff is completely unfair to the people. The protesters also demanded that the local government election be held to secure the mandate of the people.
The electricity tariff has been increased. They are trying to destroy us. We are protesting for the people who are suffering. It appears we will have to always engage in struggles in the streets. We always said that the people can only get their issues solved when they take to the streets. We demand Ranil Rajapaksa to abolish the increased electricity tariff.
News First with the people.
9 people were injured following an accident on the Galle Udugama main road last night. Sri Lanka police said that a bus transporting apparel workers had veered off the road and toppled over, resulting in the accident. On to news overseas now. A shallow magnitude 6.4 earthquake has struck the Turkey-Syria border region, killing at least 3 people 2 weeks after the area was devastated by quakes that killed tens of thousands of people.
A magnitude 6.3 aftershock struck southern Turkey on Monday, killing at least 3 people and injuring hundreds more. According to Turkish and Syrian officials, 2 weeks after a massive earthquake killed tens of thousands of people in both countries. The quake struck Turkey's southern Hatay province near the Syrian border, Turkey's Disaster and Emergency Management Agency said. The quake's epicenter was in the province's Defne district, Turkish Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu said on Monday, adding that there have been 26 aftershocks ever since. Turkish officials say at least 3 people were killed and 294 people were injured following Monday's aftershocks. In the city of Antakya, in the country's southern Hatay province, 3 men were trapped when a building that had survived the initial quake 2 weeks ago collapsed, according to their relative.
On to other news overseas now. The US will back Ukraine in its fight against Russia for, quote, as long as it takes, US President Joe Biden has said on an unannounced visit to Kiev.
And we spoke on the telephone.
The US will back Ukraine in its fight against Russia for as long as it takes, US President has said on an unannounced visit to Kiev. He met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and the pair visited a memorial to soldiers who have died in the 9 years since Russia annexed Crimea and its proxy forces captured parts of the eastern Donbas region. Mr. Biden's presence was intended to reaffirm America's unwavering commitment to Ukraine's democracy, sovereignty, and territorial integrity, according to a White House statement. After the visit, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced a new package of security assistance for Ukraine valued at $450 million, including ammunition for howitzers and the HIMARS rocket system, Javelin missiles and air surveillance radar. The US will also provide Kiev with an extra $10 million in emergency assistance to maintain Ukraine's energy infrastructure, Mr. Blinken said. A new wave of sanctions against individuals and companies that are trying to evade or backfill Russia's war machine will be announced later this week.
Ukraine stands. Democracy stands. The Americans stand with you.
That's all the news for now. For more news in brief, await the brief at 30 throughout the day. Bringing you the news from the news desk, I'm Sandro Satyajit signing off. Have a beautiful day.
At the KTN, at the Radiant, Cyber Avakashe Kalabana, Wat Salakuna. News First YouTube channel. Adama subscribe Karana. News First, Janatava Samaga.
News First News Alert ඔබේ ජංගම දුරකථනයටත් ඔබ ඩයලොග් පාරිභෝගිකයෙක් නම් English Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NFU ලෙසත් Singlish Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NUS ලෙසත් Tanglish Alert සේවාව ලබා ගැනීමට NAT ලෙසත් ටයිප් කර 678ට සෙන්ඩ් කරන්න.
News First,
ජනතාව සමග